Grandma Rosa's Bowl, adapted by Bruce Lansky from a Grimm Brothers story. While visiting a poor village in Mexico, I stopped in an antique shop and picked up a dusty old diary. The shopkeeper told me that it had belonged to a girl named Maria, who had lived nearby with her mother, Sevilla, many years ago. I hope she will not mind if I share her story with you. Maria's father had died when she was young, so her mother worked very hard as a potter to make a modest living. When Maria's father's mother became too old and frail to take care of herself, she had no alternative but to move into the little house of Maria and her mother. From the very first day, Maria enjoyed Grandma Rosa's company. While Sevilla worked at the potter's wheel, Grandma Rosa made herself useful by mending clothes. But because her eyes were weak and her hands trembled, putting the thread through the tiny eye of the needle was very hard for her. So Maria helped her grandmother thread the needle and was rewarded with fascinating stories about her father when he was a boy. Sevilla was worried about making ends meet now that there was one more mouth to feed. The first night at the dinner table, when Grandma Rosa spilled some soup, Sevilla got angry. "You should be more careful," she warned. "I work hard to put food on the table." The next night, when Grandma Rosa dropped a dinner bowl on the floor, Sevilla became even angrier. "That beautiful dinner bowl would have brought 10 pesos in the market. Now it is broken. You are too clumsy to eat from my best pottery. Here's a plain clay bowl. Eat from that." The very next night at dinner, when Grandma Rosa spilled her coffee on the rug, Sevilla lost her temper. "Ay caramba," she yelled. "First you waste my good soup, then you break my beautiful bowl, and now you stain my carpet. You are too clumsy to eat with us in the dining room." Sevilla set up a little table on the front porch where Grandma Rosa finished her dinner. After dinner, Grandma Rosa went to her room with her head hanging down. When the old woman was getting ready to go to sleep, Maria came to her bedside to comfort her. The girl whispered to her grandmother, "I'm very sorry about the way my mother treated you. I know your feelings are hurt. I've thought of a way to help you. Tomorrow night at dinner, I want you to drop your bowl again." "I do not understand," answered Grandma Rosa in a low voice. "If I drop my bowl, your mother will get upset and yell at me again." "She may get angry, but don't worry," whispered Maria. "Everything will work out. You'll see." The following night at dinner, Maria and Sevilla heard a loud crash on the porch. When Sevilla rushed out to see what had happened, she found that Grandma Rosa had dropped her clay bowl, and it had broken into several pieces. "You are so clumsy," she scolded. "Pick up the pieces and glue them back together. I'm not giving you another bowl to break." Grandma Rosa's eyes filled with tears. Maria helped her grandmother up from the table and guided the frail woman to her room. Then Maria returned to the porch and picked up the pieces of the broken bowl. Later that evening, Sevilla found Maria gluing the pieces of Grandma Rosa's broken bowl together. "How nice of you to fix grandmother's bowl for her," Sevilla said. "You are mistaken, Mamma," answered Maria. "Tomorrow I am going to make a beautiful dinner bowl for Grandma Rosa. This glued-together bowl I will save. Many years from now, when you are as old and frail as Grandma Rosa, I will give it to you." Now Sevilla's eyes filled with tears. She wept because she felt ashamed of the way she had treated her mother-in-law, and she wept because she was proud of Maria for having the wisdom and the courage to show her the error of her ways. As soon as Sevilla's tears had dried, she went to Grandma Rosa and begged to be forgiven. The next day, when dinner was served, Grandma Rosa was again seated at the dinner table. Unfortunately, while stirring sugar into her coffee, she knocked the sugar bowl onto the floor. Sevilla looked down at the broken sugar bowl. She looked at the sugar that had spilled on the floor. Then she looked at Grandma Rosa and smiled. "Don't worry, Mamma. Accidents sometimes happen. Enjoy your dinner." And that was the first of many happy meals Maria's family enjoyed from that time forward.